Hi, this is a video about Need I Remind You from the grade 3 and 4 Trinity book. So first at the beginning we've got a count-in of 2 bars, so 8 beats in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the bass drum comes in, nice and light. So we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. When we get up to bar 8, we're going to play 2 notes on the floor tom at the end of the bar. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, going on to the next bar, we're going to play a tom-tom on the first beat of the bar. So that's going to give us 3 notes in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1. Okay, so the following bar, the pattern begins. So the pattern on the toms goes. So the bass drum's just doing the same thing, that's easy. But what we need to mark on the toms is that sometimes this tom or this tom are playing in between the beats on the floor tom, and at other times they're playing together with the floor tom. Okay, so if we look at the first bar, we'll notice that in my left hand the first note is in between the beats, and the second note is together with the floor tom. So floor tom is this big one here. Okay, so we're going together. On the second bar, we're playing. So we've got 3 notes between these 2 toms. 1 note on the high tom, 2 notes on the medium tom. So we're going. So some of those notes are in between beats on this drum. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And the last note is together with the floor tom. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So we've got to go and 4 together at the end. So the pattern goes like this: 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You'll notice that beat 4 is always together with the medium tom and the floor tom. Okay, going on, we've got these marks on the music. So these little marks here, don't know if you can see my finger there, these little marks here mean that we just keep playing the beat that we played before. Okay, so we're playing the same beat on the toms until we get to here. And then as a subtle change, we've got 2 notes on the snare drum. So that is introducing the next beat, which is going to be. I'll just bring this around so you can see. High tech. There we go. Okay, so we're going to introduce that beat, and the way we do it going from the toms is simple enough. What we've got to remember is to keep the bass drum going when we're doing that. So we're going low tom, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and then an open hi-hat. So we've got to close that hi-hat on the first beat of the next bar. So we're going 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we play that through 3 times. So this bit here, slightly tricky. What we're doing is we're playing the hi-hat and the snare together. and then we're playing three things: hi-hat, snare and bass drum together. Hi-hat, snare and bass together. So we're going to play hi-hat and snare together, and then bass drum, hi-hat and snare together. Whoops, messed up. That's it. Okay, what is next? So what is next is, if we look at the next page, we have the crash cymbal. So that's the sign for the crash cymbal. But before we do that, we've got to play these two notes here on the snare, the bass drum and the tom-tom. Going bop bop, so we're going and then there's a rest on the fourth beat of the bar. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3, rest. Okay, so then we're moving on to the crash. So we've got a beat on the crash and the snare drum. So the snare drum goes all the way through this, and so does the crash. So we can say that the crash and the snare are playing the same thing. There it is. The crash and the snare are playing the same thing all the way through that beat. They are playing but we've got some beats on the bass drum, and some of those fall on the beat, some of those fall in between the beats. The only bass drum that falls on the beat is on the first beat of each bar. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The beats on the bass drum that fall in between are the and of beat 3 and the and of beat 4 in the first bar. So we're going bass drum on the first beat, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you notice that the bass drum is played totally on its own there, on the and of 3 and the and of 4. 1, 2, 3. Second bar, bass drum on the first beat of the bar. So there's a bass drum on the and beat 3 on its own, nothing after beat 4. That's the second bar. So it's a 2-bar pattern. I'll play it again. 1, 2. Okay, so that's just a little taster of Need I Remind You, and there'll be more of that to follow.